think the beautiful thing about the fabric of queerness is that it connects us not only through pain, but through love. To set you free like a in a
Mag ik je voorstellen aan Jacob Alon, een Schotse singer-songwriter die in een rechtvaardige wereld ooit zalen als de Carré gaat vullen. Hij maakt emotionele folkliedjes die al worden vergeleken met Jeff Buckley en Nick Drake en daarmee staat hij binnenkort op Best Kept Secret.
I grew up in the bonny kingdom of Fife in Scotland. I didn't have too much aspiration within like being an artist or being a musician. In fact, I never thought it would be possible as like a thing to do with my life. I tried to be a doctor, and I went to uni and stuff, and I like was doing everything I could to live that kind of life. And I did. I think it was for the right reasons, and it was like sleeping on my arm. I like it went dead eventually, and I couldn't feel a part of myself anymore. I fell into like a deep depression when I was trying to pursue other things in life, and I think eventually that forced me to like, when COVID came along, as horrible as it was and as dark as that time was, it forced me to look right in the mirror and be like, is this the life I want to live? It's so temporary and short and fragile, and I don't think I can pretend to be someone I'm not anymore. And so I think that forced me to abandon everything else and just say, what have I got to lose? Through the swarm I've seen a child alone, unsure as he cries. Nick Drake definitely influenced me a lot, and Elliott Smith and Adrienne. It's funny because I think there's so many different ways to play the guitar. I don't necessarily think of myself as like a very good guitarist in the like more like general like common sense.
Yeah, there's no slick solos and like crazy prog rock.
No, I wish.
Happening.
That baffles me. I think when I grew up, that's kind of all I thought being a guitarist was, the kind of more bro-y, like electric guitar solo-y stuff. And I think it is one way to play, but I think the most exciting thing I've found within the guitar is to me that it, and this I try to keep it like this, is that it's a mystery. Mm-hmm. So that's why I play in a lot of open tunings. I think just because it kind of like rips the carpet from under my feet. Never mind to lose, you are my best friend. Best friend.
Queerness is such an important part of your songwriting, and
Yeah.
there's a tension between, I guess, shame and acceptance and the exploration of that. And I was wondering, when did you start exploring your own queerness?
Yeah, it's hard to tell when I became conscious of it. I think fundamentally, like those things, those like swayings between acceptance and shame, kind of, it's the fundamental nature of queerness in a world where you don't naturally fit into it. Well, I think creativity in its nature is queer, and I think that to me that's one of the most beautiful things that queerness offers me, is this kind of idea of the world that's not as rigid and conforming into certain lanes or boxes. It lets you see the spaces in between the words and the feelings, and know that that's okay, like to exist between. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things, like even within the nature of the they them pronoun, like it's both singular and plural, and the spectrum of possibilities and dimensions between those things. And I think, at least within music to me, that is a gift to feel.
Yeah, and not seeing your identity as a stagnant thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Covered in spit, you submit to feel closer to anything that keeps love alive. Oh, Magnum 45, swallow till it makes you cry.
There's also a song about poppers.
Yes!
How did that come about?
It was written after a series of like very degrading hookups on Grindr, and I think poppers is like very symbolic, and their use in my life is like a way to escape the present moment. There's a kind of dark side to queer hookup culture that feels very like shallow and superficial. And I think it can also be like really fun and beautiful, but there's been a few times where it's just like crushed me, and almost in a self-harming way, like I've like been seeking out that feeling. Yeah, these things are sometimes hard to talk about, and I think being that naked, like kind of splitting myself open and being like, this is me, is like intimidating, but ultimately like it feels like the only way I know how to kind of do it, and to not hide between the metaphorical, but behind the metaphorical mask of like the Grindr logo, you know.
So how do you hope that, you know, a queer kid living in a rural part anywhere in the world listens to your songs? What do they take away from it?
I think one more person knowing that they're not only not alone, but not constrained. That it's, even if at this point in their life they don't know where they want to blossom into, or they don't necessarily have the space around them or the safety around them to open up into the full flower that they are, I think it's okay to know that you can build that, you might be able to build that space for yourself, and there's a place for you in the world. I think the beautiful thing about the fabric of queerness is that it connects us not only through pain, but through love. No matter like how remote you might be and how distant you might feel from a world of acceptance, it's waiting for you, you know, and I really hope that you find your way to it.
Wonderful.
I'll be there. Give you a hug.
Yeah, just so nice to chat to you.
Oh, it's so nice too. Yeah. Thanks so much for having me.
Stay